No. We'll start in 5 minutes. All right, Bezrat Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach. Today's shiur is going to be a unique attempt. I'm speaking today to myself and also to everybody here, so I'm not in any way suggesting that I mastered this topic or that I am able to apply this topic all the time to my own life. But it's a very, very interesting topic. You could all thank Malkio for inspiring this topic. Good job. He gave me a lot of work to do. This topic is not something that's difficult to prepare. What's more difficult to prepare is the things not to say, not the things to say. Some shiurim are like that. Some shiurim are, you can't say everything you want to say, and because it's not practical. This is a shiur that a lot of things cannot be said because it's borderline against the hashkafa that we grow up with in yeshiva and even in cheder. Even when you're a little child, we learn some things. As you see, the beautiful flyer that we had, it speaks about Hishtadlut. Hishtadlut means effort. That's how we're going to translate it today, effort. And you see a guy with a hand, very skinny arm, grabbing a rock, and it looks very poetic and very, like, you know, he's trying hard to climb a mountain. It's supposed to be the image of effort. However, I want to ask you guys a question. I want to ask you, is the word Hishtadlut, effort, is that a good word or is that a bad word? What do I mean by good or bad? Some words have a negative connotation. Some words have a positive connotation. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a curse word or like a bad word. But the word Hishtadlus, is that a good word or a bad word? I just want to tell you something. This is such a complicated topic that this word does not come up really in Musar Sfarim, Hishtadlus. Today, I'll give you some examples of people. You know, you call a shadchan, those that are looking to get married, they call a shadchan, they say, Mrs. So-and-so, or Rabbi so-and-so, or Rebbitzin so-and-so, you know, I'm looking to get married, here's my resume. And then you tell her the way you live your life, that according to maybe the way your parents guided you, your rabbi guided you, your mother guided you. And then all of a sudden they'll throw out a word that'll shatter your reality and say, but you have to do Hishtadlus. I'll give you an example. Let's say there's a guy who wants to get married. He wants to have a beard. And he goes to the shadchanit, and he says to her, no, you have to do your Hishtadlus. Shave it off. Then you're going to get married. All of a sudden, now you turn this into like a religious thing. Oh, now I must shave. It's a mitzvah. Or a person learns 6-7 hours a day and goes to a shadchan and says, listen, you have to go to work. Don't work after you get married. You have to go to work now. We have to put something on the resume. You have to do your Hishtadlus. I personally think that this word Hishtadlus is a cover-up for another word. Like, as you know, for example, they have a lot of words in the American culture that cover up really bad words. Like the word abortion. If you were to actually take the word abortion and translate it to the literal way it is, it means fetus murder. Are you pro-fetus murder? Now all of a sudden it becomes a bigger, like, moral question. It becomes a worse word like that. So the word Hishtadlus, effort, does it cover up something good? Is it covering up something bad? So if you know, in Chavot HaLevavot, there's no chapter called Shara Hishtadlus. The gates of effort doesn't exist, but they do have Shara Bitachon. It's very important to learn Shara Bitachon. What does Bitachon mean? You have to trust in Hashem. If you were to ask any person that has half a brain in Torah, what is the opposite of bitachon? He's going to tell you, Hishtadlus. So which means more Hishtadlus is less bitachon?
Yes. By that logic, yes.
More effort equals less trust. If I try harder, does that mean I have less trust in Hashem?
Yes.
Yes?
According to that, sit on your couch all day. The opposite.
So again, is Hishtadlus a good word or a bad word? You go to any Rebbe, you go to anyone, you have to do your Hishtadlus. And all of a sudden, the Shadchanim, they mastered this word. You have to do your Hishtadlus. They mastered this word.
I have a feeling.
1 second. I looked throughout the Gemara. You know, I have a sefer in my house. You could look up any word in Shas. It's supposed to tell you where it is. Supposed to. You know? And I looked at the word Hishtadlus. I don't see. It's not in there. So I listen to a lot of shiurim. Whenever you don't know, you don't find something in the Gemara, you listen to the shiurim, and they point you to the right direction. The rabbis of our generation are messengers from Hashem. Real Rabbanim. So I want to read to you a Gemara. Masechet Berachot, Daf Lamed Beis Amud Beis. Page 32. Tanu Rabbanan. The rabbis taught, Arba'at tzrichin chizuk. 4 things in your life need chizuk. Strengthening, bolstering, boosting. 4 things in your life, you constantly need to put a boost in it. Ve'eluhen, this is what they are. Torah. You must constantly boost your Torah. What does that mean, boosting your Torah? It's not always about stories and roses and gematrias. Sometimes you got to get into the nitty-gritty. Basar b'halav, meat and milk, the laws of Shabbat, those things that might seem like dry topics, but that's really where the main avodat elakut really is. You can't serve Hashem, now that you know a beautiful gematria. It helps connect things, but you can't serve Hashem with that gematria. You could serve Hashem with basar b'halav. You could serve Hashem with hilchot Shabbat. So always Torah needs chizuk. You need to empower, boost your Torah learning. For ladies as well. Number 2, ma'asim tovim. What does ma'asim tovim mean? Good actions, good deeds. For example, you know how many people buy themselves their Gan Eden, which they think they do. They give tzedakah. You think you bribe God. I gave $50,000 to my shul. Hazak Baruch. Who says you're not going to get schar in Olam Hazeh for that and be forgotten in Olam Haba for that? How do you know that? You think Ma'asim Tovim, Reb David Feinstein used to say you have to be a Gaon. Gaon, and by the way, it doesn't mean rabbi. Gaon means genius. You have to be a genius to do acts of kindness. Genius. It's not so simple. Look, the real acts of kindness, somebody comes to you. I feel so guilty saying, Rabbi, you know any job? I can find a job. And I make a few phone calls. How much time can I spend? I can't find a job for this. Like this, you have to be a genius, know how to help this person. You need siyata dishmaya. You need constant boosting from ma'asim tovim. It's not so simple. Next, the 3rd thing. So we had Torah, we had good deeds. The 3rd thing is tefillah. Tefillah, praying. You need boosting always to increase your davening. You need to put extra effort. What effort have you put into your tefillah besides buying a new tefillin maybe, buying a new mirror for your tefillin, buying a new talis, buying. We always buying our way to Gan Eden. How about learning how to have kavanah for Shema? Tefillah needs constant boosting. It needs to be very, very strong when you daven. And finally, the 4th thing, which is why we're here today, derech eretz. Which derech eretz does not mean respecting your elders, and derech eretz you have to do that. But derech eretz does not mean, respecting people. Derech eretz means business, the way of the land. Ein kemach, ein Torah. You need to make money. And money and business constantly requires boosting, energy, motivation, chizuk. These 4 things always require chizuk. So now comes Rashi. Look up this Gemara after the class. Brachos Lamed Beis, Amud Beis. Rashi says, what does it mean chizuk? I'm going to translate in English. That a person has to strengthen these things with all his might. With all his might, you have to strengthen these things. Rashi says, what is derech eretz? If he's an artist, if he's a sculptor, He has to become the best at his craft. He has to increase and be mechazik himself to make sure he becomes the best artist that he can possibly be. Rashi. Nobody says you have to be a shlump, sit home. I have a license, it's hanging on my wall. Now Hashem does the rest. No, you're an artist? Fine. Is there new knives to do sculptures with? Is there new knowledge of art that you can understand? You have to always boost, Rashi says, if you're an artist. Number two, if he's a merchant and his sales. I see a lot of people smiling. We have a lot of salesmen in the room. Right? You always have to learn the next best thing to say, the next best line, the next best rebuttal, the next best thing to get the guy that says no in the corner to say yes. Right? Sales, your next best tactic. If you're a salesman, you have to know your craft very well. You have to boost it. Rashi. Next, if he's a warrior in his war, he has to boost his effort of becoming a warrior. You have to train. Hashem's going to take care of you for you. So look at what Rashi says. Do we need to put effort? So yeah, if you're an artist, you have to put effort in being the best artist. If you're a merchant, you have to put the best effort in being a salesman. If you're a warrior, you have to put the best effort in training to be the best warrior. That's how Rashi's mefarish the Gemara. So, what is the pasuk that Rashi brings here? Well, before I tell you this pasuk that Rashi brings, I want to ask you all a question. One of the people that never sinned in this world, his name was, let's see if you could think about the one I'm thinking about. Not Amram, not Binyamin, Ishai. Very good. The crowd works together. Very happy, by the way, with it. This Shabbos, I gave a speech about Shnai Mikra. And the speech made it to a few people outside the shul. I had somebody message me, Rabbi, can you please teach me how to say Shnai Mikra? And I literally read for him 4 lines, Shnai Mikra, on a video, and I sent it to him. And he said, nobody ever showed me. Everyone would talk about it, nobody ever showed it to me. I'm very, very pleased with the community that they're mekabel. They're mekabel, that they accept what I'm trying to deliver. Thank you very much. How did Yishai die? Anybody know how Yishai died? The father of David HaMelech never had any Averas. What do I got here today? $2 bills are too small. Oy vey. No Google. $100 right now. On the table. Blessed money, invest it, don't spend it all in one place. How did Yishai die? No Google, no Chat GPT. Not exactly. Huh? What? You could speak, ladies could win too. No. Not exactly. Who killed him? I just gave it away, but I'll tell you the story. Listen to what happened. David HaMelech was running away from Shaul. Shaul did not kill him. Chas v'shalom. David HaMelech was running away from Shaul. And Shaul was chasing King David and all his brothers and his father and his mother. And David HaMelech ran to a town, Moab, where the king was Moab. And he said to the king of Moab, please listen, I need to hide my family. Please take my family and protect them. I'll be back here in a few days. I'll pick them up. I'll be back. The king of Moab slew his whole family. His mother, his father, all his brothers, except one brother, ran away. And where did he run away to? He ran away to Nahash. Nahash Ammoni. Snake. His name was Snake. He was not a good guy, but he respected David HaMelech because he was a warrior. Fighters respect each other. He said, I can't believe this man could kill 10,000, 20,000 people in one war. He would fight. Fight the whole night. David HaMelech would fight and fight and fight, come back, somehow kill 10,000 people in one night. This kind of warrior comes once in 2,000 years. And David HaMelech Nahash respected it. So what happened? This one brother of David left and his whole family ran to Nahash and Nahash hit him. And David HaMelech came later, picked him up, and his whole family found out was dead. It's a very sad life David HaMelech had. And what happened was, after many years, Nachash died. This person that protected his one last brother, he passed away. And David HaMelech wanted to show condolences towards this person that protected his brother. So David HaMelech sent soldiers to him, to the son of Nachash. The son of Nachash's name was Hanun ben Nahash. Hanun means like mercy, because he had mercy. His father had mercy on David HaMelech's brother. What did Hanun do? The advisors of Hanun told King David, the Jewish people are very sly. He sent spies to your town. You think that these are soldiers to come and show you condolences for your father's death? He sent spies. So what did Hanun do? He took a knife and he shaved one side of their face. And he cut they used to wear dresses, not dresses, but like robes, whatever it was. Cut the robe till the waist, showing everything. Cut the robe, sent them back home like that. Captured them, put them in jail, whatever, cut the robe off, cut half their beard, sent them back to David HaMelech. David HaMelech says, you want to make fun of me? He took Yoav, he said, Yoav, grab your finest soldiers. Send them, full attack. We're ripping him up. Hanun ruined the relationship between me and his father. Ripped him up. Yoav was going on his way to kill the army of Ammon. And all of a sudden now, came a second team, a second army from the back. Who was it? Aram Sova, the Aramean army, Syrian army, came from the back, flanked him. So you have now Yoav getting ready to fight the people in front of him, Ammon, and from the back comes the Syrians, Aram Soba. And now Yoav is stuck with a situation. I have one army. One army is enough just to beat Ammon. One army does not seem to be enough to beat Ammon and Aram Soba. What do I do? He called a shadchan. She says, Hishtadlus. Nothing bad with shadchan, and by the way, without them, how many people wouldn't be married? I'm just picking. But what my point is today, are you worthy to use this word Hishtadlus? Do you know how complicated this word is? That you have to do your Hishtadlus. You're paskening for him. You're paskening his bitachon for him. Listen to what Yoav said. Yoav said as follows: Hazak v'nit hazak be'ad amenu uv'ad arei Elohenu v'Hashem ya'aseh atov be'enav. What does that mean? Let us be strong for the sake of our people. That's what he says to his army. And for the land of Hashem, and let Hashem do what he deems right. What does that mean? He split his army in half. Let's say, I don't remember how many soldiers he had, 1,000 soldiers. 1,000 soldiers is enough just to beat one. 500 definitely will lose to 2. But he said, right now, the best decision for me to make is to do what? Split. 500 is not enough to beat Ammon. 500 is not enough to beat Aram. But that's the only choice I have to do. And let Hashem take care of the rest. Hishtadlus. Bitachon in Hashem, and Hishtadlus is the way to do it. And what happened there? He won. How did he win? He went and he attacked Ammon, destroyed them. Aram Soba saw this. They got scared. They fled. Hishtadlus won with bitachon. So now we see, this is the proof that Rashi brings, that if you have a business, you need to put effort in your business. If you're a warrior, you have to put effort in your warrior. And this is the pasuk he brings as the source for how you're supposed to put effort. Now, I want to bring to you, I'll put this back in my pocket. Maybe we'll have a second chance today, we'll see. The Tanya. Who wrote the Tanya? Don't say the Baal Tanya, because it's the Alter Rebbe, Rav Shneur Zalman of Liadi, Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Libracha. We will do a biography on him one day, but we neither. Anybody know how the Tanya starts? How does the Tanya start? How does he start? Tanya. The word Tanya starts with the word Tanya, right? But what is the baraita that he brings? The first thing he says is that he brings a Gemara on Masechet Nida Daf Lamed Amud Beis, and he says over there, before a person is born, they make the neshama swear in the heavens. What's the swear that the neshama has to make before it comes down to the world? The Gemara says, Tehi tzadik ve'al tehi rasha. You shall be righteous and you shall not be evil. And in your eyes, you should always look at yourself like you are evil. And even if all the people in the world tell you that you're a tzaddik, you should still tell yourself that you are evil. That is how that's how the Tanya starts out. So you make this. Let's explain this. Before you come to this world in the form of a body, you have a moment in your existence, and we'll speak in a minute why you don't remember this. Why you don't remember? Look what kind of trivia this world is. You made a swear in front of Hashem, in front of the Kisei HaKavod. You swore to Hashem, I will be righteous, and you don't even remember making that promise. But why does Hashem do this for? Makes you swear, and then you don't remember the swear. You're going to be righteous, you're not going to be wicked. What kind of swear is this? So the Gemara says that once the fetus emerges into the world, into the airspace of this world, so the neshama comes into the baby, that neshama that swore dresses itself into this baby's body, and an angel from Shamayim comes and smacks the baby on the mouth. And the baby forgets everything that happened in Shamayim, forgets the swear, forgets everything. And then it emerges into this world. I want to stop for a minute. I want to ask you a question. When is a baby considered born? Not when the baby is fully out. When the head emerges into this world, it's already considered born. Why is this important? Hilchot milah. Sometimes it helps to know when the baby came out, head already is out. Make sure you check the time. You have to check the time. Your wife's busy. You have to check the time. But I'll tell you a story that I just heard this week from the chief rabbi of Eretz Yisrael. Who is the new chief rabbi? Hacham David Yosef. He said that when his mother gave birth to one of the Yosef sons, one of the Chachamim, she knew it was Shkia time. And she said to the doctor, tell me right now, what's the Zman? I need to know right now when the Brit is going to be. So they told her the Zman, she remembered it. So right when the head is emerging into this world, the Malach comes, smacks the baby on the mouth, the baby forgets everything. The Maharal Prague has a whole mimer on this. But we're not going to talk about this. Maybe another time we'll speak about why we get hit on the mouth. Another time. But it says in the Gemara, the fetus does not leave the womb until it administers an oath. Why does it say it does not leave the womb? Because technically it's still inside. Only the head is out. And the Malach already hits it. Let's see what happens now. Umahi ashvuah shemashbi'in oto, the Gemara says. What is the swear that the baby makes, that the soul makes in the heaven? They tell him, Tehi tzadik ve'al tehi rasha. Thou shalt be righteous and thou shalt not be evil. Ve'afilu kol ha'olam kulo omrim lecha tzadik ata. If the whole world tells you you're righteous, hayeh be'enecha karasha. You shall remain in your own eyes like you are evil. Ve'evei yodea. And you should know, Sha'akadosh Baruch Hu tahor. Hashem is pure. Sharitav teorim. And his angels are pure. Unshama shenatan becha. The neshama that Hashem put inside this baby, teorahi, is pure. Imata meshomra, if you protect it, mutav, good. Imata meshomra betara, if you protect this and keep it pure, mutav, good. The imlav, the angel says, if not, hareni notla mimecha, I will take the neshama from you. That's the swear, that's the condition you make before you come to this world. What does this have to do with Hishtadlus? Later on, the Tanya says something very interesting. In chapter 14, the Tanya says that a person has to be lehit aneg velismoach ba'Hashem. That when you're alive in this world, you have to constantly be happy. Lehit aneg ba'Hashem, to be happy the fact that Hashem created you and is keeping you alive in this world. People are so depressed today. Are you crazy? There's a guy living in a box, 12-degree weather, on Pearl Street. Go look at him. He's on Wall Street, lives in a box. He would die to have a computer to lose money on. And you're crying and you're wobbling that you sold too soon. Or your business failed. My business failed. You always have to be happy with Hashem. And listen to what the Tanya says. Al yidei hitbonenut b'gdulat ein sof. By you contemplating how great Hashem is, kefi yicholto, to your possible imagination, can a person really understand Hashem? Nobody can really understand Hashem. Af sheyodea benafsho shelo yagia lemadrega zu be'emet la'amito. Listen to what the Tanya says. Even though a person can never really know that he comprehends the ways of Hashem, there's no way for us to comprehend Hashem. Ki im bedimyonot. The only way you could think about Hashem is in your imagination. You were there in that world. Hashem made you swear. Now you live in a world where you could only imagine about Hashem. Afal pi ken, even though you only have imagination of Hashem. Hu ya'aseh et shelo. You do your best. Lekayem et hashvu'ah shemashbi'im tehi tzadik. To do your duty, to upkeep this oath that you made, to be righteous. And that is the definition of the Tanya of Hishtadlus. That's the definition in the Tanya of Hishtadlus. You are trying to upkeep your oath. Very deep now. Not the same Hishtadlus that the Shadchan told you. This Hishtadlus says, I am trying to upkeep my oath. Be righteous. And I can't imagine what it means. They wiped this memory from my mind. I don't know what it is. The angel hit me on my mouth when my head was just in this world. And I don't remember what I swore. But all I remember is that Hazal told me, be righteous. I'm trying my best to be righteous. Now, the Rashi said what? If you're an artist, become the best at your craft. Can you be a tzaddik and be the best at your craft? Yes. You're not a Russia if you work. You're not a Russia if you spend 8 hours a day at the office. You're not. It's the opposite. You're a tzaddik. The Rambam says, Yafet Torah melacha pirkei avot. Yafet Torah melacha. Torah is great with a job. But where is the issue here? Where is the issue here? There's a very big rabbi. His name is Rav Tzadok HaKohen Milublin. What was the most famous sefer that Rav Tzadok wrote? Tzidkat HaTzadik. This man is a special man. He really is. Every morning he's here. You should see how he davens. The Tzidkat HaTzadik says, and what I'm going to tell you right now is very deep. I listened to a lot of shiurim. Nobody brought this up. And I don't know why they didn't bring it up. Maybe it's dangerous what I'm going to say. He says a lot of people reach a very high level in their life in spirituality. He thinks he's close to Hashem, but really he's not close to Hashem. Hat, jacket, gartel, everything you want. The whole ensemble. The tzaddik says, why? Oh, I'm sitting, I'm doing this thing, I'm doing everything. Doing this when I learn. I'm doing all of it. Why is it? He says, you know why? The Tzidkat HaTzadik says, how did the end look like? How did the end look like? When you left this world, how did you look? You can't take this with you. You can't take this with you. You can't take nothing with you. How do you look like at the end? All that effort that you spent, all that time that you spent, it's not, your Hishtadlus doesn't count until the end. Your effort doesn't count until you come to cash in. Your company gave you a check. You got paid for a job. They went bankrupt. You go to the bank to cash the check in. Garnished. I worked. I got the deal. You put your effort in the wrong place. I'll give you an example, what the Brisker Rav says about this. The Brisker Rav says, let me tell you how people are. Imagine you're a taxi driver and you see the passenger holding a heavy luggage in his hand the whole time while you're driving. The guy looking in the mirror, this guy good or what? Turn around. Excuse me, sir. Yeah. Put the luggage down. No. Leave me alone. Why are you holding it? So the whole trip, he's seeing this guy. Finally, 5 minutes to his destination, he says, listen, you got to tell me. I have a trunk. I have another seat empty next to you. Put your bag down. Why are you holding it the whole time? You're sweating. He says, because I don't want it to be heavy for you when you're driving. The Brisker Rav says this is what people don't understand about Hishtadlus. The truck is driving, the car is driving, and you think you're holding? The truck is carrying it anyway. While even if you're holding it on your lap or it's on the chair, the car is still taking it. So you spent your whole time putting your effort, holding on to something that would have been there anyway. Hishtadlus. Putting your energy in the wrong place. So the Tzidkas Tzaddik says that you have to maintain your mitzvot your whole life. Die trying. Then you could say the person put Hishtadlus. Number 2. Now this part is the part that's, you have to listen very close, please. I will take questions about this after class. This is what he writes, his exact words. Hashem has knowledge of all your outcomes. We agree with that? Hashem knows all your outcomes. You do A, this B will happen. You do C, D will happen. Hashem knows all your outcomes. However, there are certain outcomes that only prayer can lead to those outcomes. Only davening, only praying to Hashem can lead to those outcomes. Let's see what he says. He says, there is a preordained, a pre-programmed amount of effort that is written down for a person in Shamayim. And once you put in that effort, once they reach that amount of effort, they will receive what they want. It's preordained in Shamayim. So let's say you have a gas tank. Instead of filling it up with gas, it's called effort. And once the gas tank is 70% used up, you will get what you want. We don't know what this number is. Just like that angel hit you in the mouth and you forgot what you swore in Shamayim, we don't see what's in Shamayim. Hashem said, Hashem preordained, wrote for a person. Yoshua has to spend 14 hours on this sugya to understand it. Yoshua has to spend 17 hours this week at work to make this amount of money. Preordained. Give you an example. A trainer tells somebody, you have to do 200 sit-ups straight. You have to reach the ability to do 200 sit-ups straight, real sit-ups, you have a six-pack. You get to that number, you got it. That's what he told you. In Shamayim, they have the same thing, lehavdil, with the thing that you want, the bracha that you want. Preordained amount of effort, you reach it, you got it. Now, wait 1 second. However, what is not preordained? Where you will channel that effort to. If you, the Tzidkas Tzaddik says, yes, you can spend 70 hours at work and then get what you want, or you could spend a certain amount of time in tefillah and do very minimal at work and you'll get what you want. So there's a gas tank of physical effort and there's a special nitrous gas tank with just tefillah. And if you do the tefillah the right way, you spend very minimal amount in exertion, physical exertion. The Tzidkas Tzaddik says that's preordained already. So instead of putting your effort in physical labor and shoveling and doing all the things that you do, if you spend that time in tefillah and then go execute in the battlefield and then go execute at the workforce, you will receive the same if you worked in the workforce for 70 hours. That's it. That's what the Tzidkas Tzaddik says. Prayer shifts the balance of your effort required. So now we can understand what the Gemara said back to Masechet Berachot Daf Lamed Bet Amud Bet. 4 things require chizuk. One of them, tefillah. If you're it's very hard to be mechazik in tefillah. To bring your conscious back to the meaning of the words every 5 seconds. It's hard. The air conditioner has to be at the right temperature. The Hazan has to have the perfect voice. There has to be windows. There has to be a perfect day. Nobody's texting you. You forgot your phone. It was just a perfect day of tefillah. And only then, no. Hashem put you in a world of distractions. You live in a world of distractions. You have to keep bringing yourself back in tefillah. That exertion in davening will eliminate the exertion over there. Eliminate it. We learned in the Saturday night class with some of these Hashuv boys here that Moshe Rabbeinu once had to daven to Hashem after the Jewish people sinned with a golden calf. And it says in the Pasuk, how did he daven? Vayichal Moshe et penei Hashem Elokav. What does the word Vayichal mean? The Gemara says, I don't know what this word means. The Gemara answers, you know what the word Vayichal means? The word Choleh. He became sick from the amount that he davened. The Gemara says, how do you become sick from davening? He says he davened so hard, he got a fever. Not just a regular fever, that his fever got so hard, so strong, that he got fever of the bones. His bones became hot. And then he said to Hashem, Lama yehereh apecha be'amecha, why are you angry at your nation that you took out of Mitzrayim, that you swore to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? But he had to reach this level of heat, of physical sickness. And look what he spared. He spared death to the whole nation of Israel. Achale otam kiraga. Hashem wanted to destroy us in a second. Throw the mountain on us, goodbye. No more Jewish people. Erase. We'll become prehistoric people. Just like we talk, Le'avdil, about the Sumerians, Mesopotamians, cavemen, Jews. Bnei Israel. Chas v'shalom. But because Moshe Rabbeinu exerted himself, davened so hard to the point where he got fever of the bones, the Gemara says, Vayichal Moshe, and Moshe became sick from this davening, eliminated this plague from the Jewish people. That's the problem today. Hishtadlus is right, but there's kosher, just like everything needs a hashgacha. Kosher hishtadlut, not kosher hishtadlut. Not kosher hishtadlut, spend less time learning, spend less time doing mitzvahs. You must have a smartphone. You must have internet in every room in the house, and you must train your kids to know znut, and you must give experience to your kids to go and travel the world. Yes, go to India by yourself with your friends. What do you think they're doing? Learning in a base medrash in India? Turn your brain on. They're not. My friends we're going to Egypt. What are you going to visit there? What is there even kivrei tzaddikim over there? I don't know. It's not going to be a kosher trip. You have to understand, that's not called Hishtadlus. Hishtadlus doesn't mean you water down your emunah, you water down your bitachon. Hishtadlus means that it's the right bitachon. Did you daven very hard and then go do your minimal effort? Probably not. Try that first, then let me know. So, Rabbi, it's impossible. You want me to daven 5-6 hours for one thing? So I watered it down for you. An hour time. I watered it down for you an hour time, what we can do to improve our Hishtadlus. And this, you're going to see, I cross-referenced this with 3 rabbis. And they all agreed that I'm right. That the Torah is right. I'm nobody. This is number 1. And I'm speaking to myself right now. Speaking to myself and to you. Number 1, first, before you ask for what you need, determine if what you want is ethical and in line with what Hashem wants for you. Once it passes that criteria, meaning the criteria the Torah laid out for you, then you could go to step 2. Before we get to step 2, what does that mean? I'll tell you a phone call I got. Ready for this phone call? Rabbi, I want to open a new dating app. Okay, tell me about this dating app. Well, in the beginning, when you sign up to the dating app, it's going to say very frum, modern Orthodox, and then the rest you could figure it out. Reformadox, conservadox, docs only, Jewish, open to everything, And I said, so what do you want from me? Why are you telling me this? Are you looking for investors? That's what I thought. No, I'm looking for hashgacha. I'm telling you that does not pass number 1. Therefore, you cannot go to number 2. Therefore, you cannot say, I'm doing my Hishtadlus. I'm trying to do my job. You want to open a cartel? Is it Hishtadlus for that? I don't think so. Hashem could say no. Yes.
Again, about the whole dating app. Let's say you have a baby and it's through the government. Other people are already.
Dina de Malchuta Dina, yes.
So they are wrong towards us.
No, we have to pay our taxes to the IRS. We have to. No. First of all, it's also a big chilul Hashem. I mean, look how many Jews are getting arrested for doing bad things. We know first case.
Paying 40% taxes to the government.
So one sec. What should I say? At your own risk. Go ahead, B'chalod. Can I ask you a question? No, one sec. Is this a smart question? Let me ask you why. Smart question or not? Let me just see how the Shemona Esrei looks like. Okay, you're going to the end of Shemona. Shema Kolenu. Hashem, help me get away with stealing from the government. Okay, help me get away from evading taxes and not getting caught. How does that sound? Zelot tefillah. You're going into the king's office. Come in, my child. You sit down. Yes, my servant. How could I help you? You know, the government has something called the IRS, my king. And I'd like to...
I would have said different. My king, IRS, taking 30-40%.
Right.
Not money. Change that.
Okay, so I'll tell you, there was a Rav that spoke about this. I'm not going to say his name. He spoke about this recently. He has a podcast and everything. And he said that you're not allowed to say that today. He says, why? You're not allowed to say today that, you know what, I don't agree with 40, 50%. I don't agree with, I'll tell you why. He says, because just 100 years ago, they caught you wearing a talit, tefillin, in your mother's country, in your father's country. They beat you, sent you to Siberia. So it's worth it. And if you get a good accountant, it's worth it too. Trust me, I'm telling you. They know. So step number one, determine if what you want to do is ethical, because Hashem will not help something that's not ethical. Everybody agree with step number one? Okay, so that's... Right, good question. That's a good question. Tzarich iyun. If a person runs away from goes to Ari Miklad, he has to stay there till the Kohen Gadol dies. So sometimes the person the Goel Adan has to daven for the Kohen Gadol to die so that he can come out of the Ari Miklad, right? So he says Hashem would answer that tefillah, right? Okay, next. What is the amount? Number two. This is something that nobody does. So you do this second step, you're already doing more Hishtadlus than you've ever thought in your life. What is the amount? If you have a dollar amount that you have in mind, like Rav Ovadia said over here. So you have $1 million in mind. 2, shidduch. You want to get married. You want to find somebody that's fitting a certain criteria that you have in your mind. By the way, she has a criteria too. It goes both ways. Just letting you know. Okay. All right. So these things that you need for your life that you have planned within reasonable means. So meaning, if it's your first year at work in your business, maybe $1 million is really a high goal. But to say 300, to say 250, and people in your field the first year possibly do that. There are a lot of people that make that amount in your field, kosher field, make that amount the first year. Let me know, I'll join you. But if that's what it is, then you have to figure that out. So which means you're now making a business plan. People go into business, no business plan. They just turn it on, see what happens. So Hishtadlus includes making a business plan. So you come into the business now. I'm in a business now of bakery stuff. So say, how many people open a bakery? That's why they have today business consultants. You know what you pay business consultants? Some $500 an hour you pay. You sit there 1 hour and you get so much information, you have to spend 20 years to get this experience. It's worth it to pay consultants. You sit there, he says to you, most bakeries in this area make X amount of dollars per year. So, okay, I want to reach that amount the first year. You did your Hishtadlus. Right there, just by making this plan, you already did a certain amount of Hishtadlus. Shidduch. Person 16 years old. Rabbi, I want to get married. Reasonable for a person 16 years old to get married in this day and age? Probably not. 20 years old? Probably not too. Are there 20-year-olds that get married? Rare. 22, 23, I understand. Am I for getting married earlier? Absolutely. Less Avera, I'm always for that. But I'm also less Avera long term too. People get married 20 years old, but what did I get into? Right? So you have to really understand, is that within your reasonable means? Step number 2. So step number 1, is it ethical? Step number 2, make a plan and see if it's within reasonable means. Write down your goal, no problem. Number 3, before you implement your goal, this comes first. This is a Rambam. This is a Kesef Mishnah, what I'm telling you. How much Torah do you want to gain? And I'm adding the words, in 1 year. Do you want to finish a Masechta? Do you want to learn master 100 halachas? If you don't learn Gemara, I want to master 100 halachas. So now you measure. Let's take a Masechta. I want to learn Masechet Brachot. I want to learn Masechet Makot. I want to learn Masechet, whatever it is. Number 1, write down the Masechet. Number 2, how many dafs is that Masechet? Write down number of dafs. Next, how long does it go? Sit down on your table in your living room, take a stopwatch, click, learn a daf. If it's 2 days, press pause, next day come back, press again, continue the daf. How long does it take you? It took me 6 hours to learn 1 daf. 6 hours to learn 1 daf. How many dafs are in the Gemara? 73 pages. Do the math. 73 pages, 6 hours. Now you make yourself a plan. Can I learn 6 hours every day? No, I could learn 4. Put that down. I could learn 4 hours a day. Within a year and a half, I'll finish Masechta. That's step number 3. Number 4, you sit down with your family. If you're married, if you're not married, guess what? You don't have this yoke. That's why you're lucky if you're single right now. You are lucky you can gain so much Torah. The Torah that you gain in your youth, it becomes like a two-sided sword. Cheref pifiyot be'adam. You will never forget that Torah. That Torah will be the foundation forever if you're single. But if you're married, you sit down with your family and you explain to them, family, you guys are my priority. I love my kids. I love my wife. You got to throw your parents in there also. Don't forget about her parents. But say, listen, we all also understand that we have to prioritize who? Hashem. Therefore, I will be learning every day for X amount of hours that you decided in step 3. I will be learning 3 hours a day. I will be learning 4 hours a day. I will be spending this amount of time with the family every day. And I will be spending 6 hours at the office every day. Now you have a plan for your whole life. And then after you speak with your family and tell them that this is your plan with your Torah learning, this is your plan with your work, number 5, you go and you implement this mission. Hashem will give you the power to wage war. Because you have the plan. Yaakov Avinu split the camp. Everybody has to have a plan. You have to do your Hishtadlus. Rashi says, why did Yaakov split the camp for? Ein somchin al hanes. We don't rely on miracles. Everybody in here that has a business but never sat down with a plan. How much money you want to make this year? How many hours do you want to put in? How many calls do you need to make? How many appointments do you need to have? You don't have a business. You have a circus. Business. At the end of the year, I get up in the shul every year. This year we were upstairs. It was very beautiful. Wrote how many shiurim we had during the year, how many hours of Torah was learned at the Ish Matzliach or throughout the year. And some people saw it, wow, I never thought of it that way. If I would have came every day, I would have had this many hours just over here in this shul. We don't understand. But why? There's a plan. A plan means you implement a little bit every single day. A plan doesn't mean you're finishing Shas in a week. You didn't learn it. That's what you call a Hishtadlus in our day. So a person can never say, I didn't get what I want because I didn't try hard enough physically. But you could say, I didn't try davening. And I didn't try planning. And I didn't try doing this. You plan, and Hashem helps. See, people in America, they say, man plans and God laughs, right? You never heard that before? It's a Yiddish, huh? You know, you're like Mashiach, Baki b'shivim leshonot. You're like master in 70. I'm telling you, Amazing. He's a very specialist person. Okay. However, now I told you the basic level for all of us to implement. I'm going to tell you now, 10 minutes we have, there's a higher level than that. This level is meant for special people. This level is not meant for everybody. This level is such a high level, and it's another type of Hishtadlus. There's a level that a person can reach such a high level, and the heavens in Shamayim, they are so proud of him, and they bank on him every day, and they ensure, in Shamayim, they ensure not to allow this man and his wife to preoccupy themselves with Hishtadlus, even for tefillah. They don't even want, they want him to pray minimal too. Listen to this level. What is this? There's a certain level which goes together with Torah learning, but it's called hatmada. Can anybody give me a good English translation for the word hatmada? One sec. This is a goal to reach. I'm not saying you have to be on this level. I'm not saying, I don't think there's anybody on this level today. I think the last person that was on this level was probably Chacham Ovadia. I just want to tell you what to aspire to. If anybody in this room could do it, it's you, Sammy. I promise you, it's you. I've seen you dedicated. I've seen you dedicated. I'll daven for you. But listen to this. Hatmada means what? Listen to this. The Gemara says, there was once a drought. They went to so many rabbis. There's a drought in Israel for months. Can you daven? They daven, nothing happened. Daven, nothing happened. They made ta'anit, nothing happened. You know what you could do? Masechet Ta'anit, Daf Chavdal, it says that when it's not raining, you could do ne'ilah, tfilat ne'ilah, extra prayer. Before Shkiyah, you daven ne'ilah so it could rain, like Yom Kippur. Fasting, you do ne'ilah, it's going to start to rain. They did ne'ilah, it didn't work. They went to one rabbi, Rabbi Yehuda. And he said, okay, you need to rain. Big Talmid Chacham, he used to sit and learn. We're going to see how he learned in a minute. Sit and learn all day. He came to the rabbi, please, maybe you could daven. He said, no problem. So we're going to fast? Yeah. Okay, so back then when they used to fast, take their shoes off, like Yom Kippur. He took off one, just his heel came out of the shoe, just his heel. Started pouring, raining, cats and dogs. Raining from just his heel coming out. I don't believe this. How could this be? How is it that he got that? So the Gemara asked this question. Abaya asked this question. I think Abaya asked this question to Rav Papa, if I'm not mistaken. Now Rav Papa asked Abaya. He says, how could it be that such a miracle happened? But today we don't see such miracles. He says, you want to know why? Why is this even a question to you? The Gemara says, you know, we think we're bigger today. Why? He says, Rav, we finished all of Shas. So the answer in the Gemara. Today we finish all of Shas. We finish everything. We finish Shas. All Shishas, Sidrei, Mishnah, the Gemara says we learned. Rav Yehuda only learned Seder Nezikin. Only one Seder in Shas. The rabbis that asked this question, Rav Papa, Abaye, they learned all of Shas. He learned one Seder in Shas. So he says, how could it be that he puts a shoe? Doesn't work. We learned 6 Seders, we daven, it doesn't work, there's no rain. Why? So he says, you want to know why? He says, because he learned one Seder so deep inside, when he came to something very hard, like uktzin, Masechet uktzin. What's uktzin? The vegetable sometimes has a stalk. They want to know if this vegetable could become tameh from the stalk or not. Masechet uktzin. And he said when he reached the sugya and he didn't understand it, he said, listen, this is such a hard sugya. Leave this sugya to Rav and Shmuel. Very difficult. Let them deal with it. Me, I can't. Rav and Shmuel, they could 13 different ways. They'll explain to you halacha and uktzin. 13 different ways, the Gemara said. You go to Rav and Shmuel, there's no rain. Hashem, please make rain. No rain. He take off his shoe, his heel comes off, click, raining. Why? Hatmada, commitment. Commitment. A person commits to learning and he's sitting there and he's learning and he's learning and he's learning. Distractions, get out of the way. And he keeps bringing himself back into the sugya. He remembers that oath that they made him swear. Hashem made me make it. I made an oath to Hashem in Shamayim. How could I break that oath? Don't let his davening be very short. Let him give him what he wants. Let him go back to his commitment. He's fulfilling the oath that we made him make in Shamayim that the Tanya mentioned. We don't want to bother him. Zanikra Torah in Mesirut Nefesh. That does not exist today, and that's why we don't have miracles today. 1 out of 5,000 maybe has 20%. It's very difficult. First of all, the wife needs to be on the same page with this too. And the husband needs to be really dedicated, not coffee and cigarettes. Really dedicated. Learning, writing, asking questions, cross-referencing. Sit with you know how many people, I sit in front of the Gemara for 6 hours. I also could sit in front of the Gemara. People sit in front of a TV for 6 hours. How many times did you get up to look at a dictionary? How many times did you get up to look up a translation? How many times did you get up to ask the Shoel HaMeshiv, how do you understand this? How many times do you have a question that you've been working on for weeks, one question? Most people learning, they don't even have that type of experience. I've been delving on one question for 3-4 months. I can't get it through my head. That's called hatmada. If you get to that level, his wife was screaming, we need money. Hashem, or I learn, I'm trying to upkeep my oath. Or I gotta go work. Close his eyes open, the leg of his table made of gold. Story in the Gemara. If you don't trust the Gemara, who are you gonna trust? The Shadchan? She gonna tell you what Hishtadlus is?
Does that take away from his Olam Haba?
Huh?
Does that take away from his Olam Haba?
He gave it back. He gave it back. But you understand the point? You understand the point? You know how does it take away from his Olam Haba? He didn't want the gold, and his wife changed his mind. Also had a hand come out. He went out to the field, hand came out, dropped a gem into his hand. His wife said to him, go give it back. I'd rather live poor, it's okay. This next level people, but why did they reach that level? Torah with hatmadah, if people are not committed. Now we have deal on the evil side. Take the evil side. You have this even in the world of the Goyim. You have this in the world of the Goyim, that people, they dedicate themselves. I've seen people make millions of dollars a year, millions and millions. So much money, they lose their mind. But you know what? They slept at work. They fell asleep on the desk like this. You come to work, 8 o'clock in the morning, you see them waking up. I was here, I pulled an all-nighter. Halevai. Somebody does that for Limud Torah. Barely Oshana Rabbah and Shavuos we get. Barely. So this is what we learned today. We learned today, our basic level, make sure that your goal is in line with the morals in the Torah. Make a plan, what you want to reach. Make it reasonable. It shouldn't sacrifice from your Torah learning and from your time away from your family. And then implement it. Tefillah, giant key. Giant key. Fix your tefillah, guys. I see it all the time. The next thing you're going to do is, Modi Manach Dulach, 5 minutes, please. I'll call you back. 5 minutes. Then it's going to be, we got, okay, good. Shout Tahu Hashem Elokeinu. It's going to happen one day. It's going to happen. Tefillah is so important. How do we know that tefillah is it? Vayetze Yitzhak lasuach lasadeh. Yitzhak went out to pray in the field, and all of a sudden Rivka was there. Where was his exertion? Where was his exertion? It was done by other people. It was done by Hashem sent other people. You think Yitzhak knew? Oh, right now Eliezer is going to be fed a bowl of poison soup, and a malach is going to come switch it. How do we know the malach didn't switch the bowl for Eliezer because of Yitzchak's tefillah? Not just that, the pasuk says, "Va'avo hayom ela ayin." People think Eliezer went to find Yitzchak a wife in Aram Soba for weeks and months. He was there, or a day, or 5 days. No, he was there same day. He went, came back, same day. Va'avo hayom ela ayin. Today, why today? The Mefarshim explain kfitzat derech. He went, came back. How did he have this nest happen? Because then when they see people committed in Shamayim, they don't want you to stop. And this is throughout Sefer Magid Misharim of Yosef Karo. The angel that came to teach him Torah says to him, why are you stopping to review your Mishnayos? In Shamayim, they're waiting for you every day. There's a special group of angels that come to Hashem and sing a song after you're done learning Mishnayos. And today you didn't review your Mishnayos. There was no song for Hashem. It's very upsetting. Hashem doesn't want us to. They hit us on the mouth. They don't let us know what's up there. Be dedicated to your oath. Be dedicated to what you promised Hashem before you came to this world. Tahit Tzaddik. Baal Tanya says you're never going to know what Hashem is. You're never going to know. You're never going to reach that level of understanding. But you could always focus on that oath. So therefore, Hishtadlus means you're putting effort. You could put effort towards channel it to the right areas and live a life with the least exertion. Ezrat Hashem, this should be implemented from myself. I'm going to implement this Bli Neder starting now, and we should all implement this as well. Learn halachot, learn Torah, make your life wrapped around it. Ezrat Hashem, next week we're going to have a very interesting topic as well. I'll post it up as soon as the flyer is ready. Rabbi Hanan ben Akashi Omer, Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Zakot Yisrael, Lefichach Irba Lehem Torah Mitzvot Shneimar, Adonai Hafez Leman Sidko Yagid Torah V'Yadir. No Kaddish? Baruch Hashem, no Kaddish.